Okay, so I want you to picture a photograph. A super high-res digital snapshot of a scene.
Hmm.
It captures everything, right? The light, the shadows, the exact moment. It's a complete record.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
A one-to-one mapping of reality, basically.
Right. Now, think about language. When I talk to you, when I describe that same scene, am I handing you a photograph?
Oh, not even close.
Am I, like, beaming a complete thought directly into your brain?
If only. We'd never have
That-
misunderstandings. We'd basically be telepathic.
Exactly. And according to the work we're digging into today from Christopher Potts with analogies from Levinson, when I speak, I'm not giving you a snapshot. I'm giving you a sketch.
A very rough sketch. A line drawing.
And that's the whole puzzle, isn't it?
That's the core friction of communication, yeah.
Yeah.
I give you a sketch, and you, the listener, you have to do this massive amount of work to color it in. You add the shading, the background, all the details.
The words are just the scaffolding.
Just the scaffolding.
And that gap, that huge void between the sketch I hand you and the full picture you build in your head, that's pragmatics.
Precisely. If semantics is the study of what the words literally mean, their dictionary definition,
Right.
then pragmatics is the study of what the speaker means. It's the science of reading between the lines.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're unpacking Potts' chapter on pragmatics, and we're trying to figure out how we manage to understand each other at all, given we're just throwing these vague sketches around.
It really is a small miracle that it works as well as it does.
Yeah.
And Potts, he breaks it down into this collision of three things.
Okay.
You've got the semantic content, the literal words. Then you have the context, this huge invisible backdrop. And finally, what he calls communicative pressures.
Communicative pressure sounds like the anxiety I get trying to explain a movie plot to someone who's not interested.
Well, you're not that far off.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pressure to be efficient, to be polite, to be relevant. All these things force us to take shortcuts. We compress a really complex thought into a short sentence and just, rely on the other person to unpack it.
So Potts frames this whole field around two big questions. The first one is, how do we even represent the context we're in?
Yeah, because if we don't agree on where we are, what we're doing, the whole thing falls apart.
And the second question,
How do we get from what is said to what is meant? That leap. He calls that pragmatic enrichment.
what is said versus what is meant? I feel like that single distinction is responsible for every argument I've ever had.
I mean, I said I was fine, but I meant I was annoyed.
Yeah.
That's pragmatic enrichment right there.
Okay, so before we get into the arguments, we have to look at the environment, the context itself. How do we model this invisible bubble we're talking in?
For that, Potts points to Robert Stallnaker and his idea of the common ground.
And we use that phrase all the time, let's find some common ground. But Stallnaker is being way more technical here, isn't he?
Much more. He treats the common ground like a database. It's the set of propositions or facts that everyone in a conversation agrees to treat as true for the sake of the conversation.
And the key phrase there is treat as true.
Exactly. They don't have to be objectively true. If we're in a play and you say, I am the King of France, and I bow, well, for the purpose of our conversation, you're the King of France. That's in the common ground.
So it's not just big facts like the sky is blue. It's super specific stuff like who we are, what we're doing right now, and what's already been said.
Mm-hmm. And this brings us to my favorite analogy from the text, from Thomason. He compares conversation to making a salad.
It's such a great metaphor.
Isn't it? Imagine we're all standing around a kitchen counter with a big empty salad bowl.
Okay, I'm there.
When we talk, we're basically building that salad together. When I say something, I'm tossing a cucumber slice into the bowl. When you reply, you might add some tomatoes.
And the key thing is the bowl is public. It's in plain view.
Right. If I add cucumber, I assume you saw me do it. So now, the fact that the salad contains cucumber is part of our common ground. We both know it, and we both know that the other one knows it.
But this is also where it gets messy, because that public bowl is just an ideal.
It's an idealization, yeah.
Mm.
In reality, we don't have one shared bowl. We each have a private little bowl in our own heads.
And I think I know what's in your bowl, and you think you know what's in mine.
Exactly. So I might think, we agreed to meet at 5? That's in my salad. But you thought we said 5:30.
That's a divergence. Our salads don't match.
And that's what most of conversation is. It's a continuous coordination problem. We're just constantly pinging each other to make sure our databases are synced up. We just assume it's all working until we hit a wall.
A danger signal, as Thomason puts it.
Yes, the moment you say, wait, 5:30, the whole conversation stops. We realize the salads are different. We have to stop adding new ingredients and go back and fix the base.
We have to repair the common ground before we can move on. It makes conversations sound incredibly fragile, like we're maintaining this shared hallucination.
That's a surprisingly accurate way to put it. And that fragility is why context dependence is so vital. Some words are just empty shells until you dip them into that salad bowl.
You're talking about indexicals here, what Potts calls the purest form of context dependence.
Yep, words like I, here, and now.
The example from the text is, I am typing here now.
So grammatically, that sentence is perfect, but informationally, it's almost useless on its own.
Right. If I write that on a piece of paper, stick it in a bottle, and throw it in the ocean, what does it mean 100 years from now?
Nothing. It's a broken link.
Yeah.
You don't know who I is, where here is, or when now was.
So Kaplan had a way of thinking about this, right? The difference between character and content.
Brilliant distinction.
Yeah.
The character of a word is like its instruction manual. The character of I is always referred to the person speaking.
Mm-hmm.
That rule never changes.
But the content, the actual person it picks out, changes every time a new person speaks.
Exactly. The meaning of the word is basically a function. It's an equation waiting for variables.
You need the agent, the location, the time, the context to solve for X.
Without the salad bowl to provide those values, the word is just an unsolved equation.
But this gets way more subtle than just I and here. Potts talks about implicit domains.
This is where our brains do some seriously heavy lifting without us even noticing. Imagine a teacher says, every student did the homework.
A beautiful, rare moment.
A unicorn. Now, if you take that literally semantically, every student means every student on the planet.
Every student at Harvard, in a kindergarten in Japan, every student who ever lived.
Right, which would be a lie. But we don't think the teacher's lying. Why?
Because we just automatically restrict the domain. We know every student obviously means every student in this class.
We zoom the lens. We intuitively know the common ground is the classroom. We do this with adjectives too, right? The gradable ones like tall or expensive.
Oh, this is a great one. The word expensive means basically nothing on its own. It's all about the comparison class.
Exactly.
If I say, that watch is expensive, and then I say, that car is expensive, I'm using the same word to point to wildly different price points.
A $5,000 watch is very expensive. A $5,000 car is probably a scam.
So expensive is just another variable looking for a standard to be compared against.
But Potts has this really cool, nuanced example.
Okay.
Consider the sentence. Bill has an expensive BMW.
Okay. Bill has an expensive BMW.
Now, that sentence could be true even if Bill has the absolute cheapest BMW model you can buy.
Wait, how? If it's the cheapest BMW, it's by definition not an expensive BMW.
Well, it depends on what you're comparing it to.
Ah.
If the comparison class is other BMWs, then yeah, it's cheap. But if the comparison class is all cars in general,
then even the cheapest BMW is an expensive car. The truth of the sentence literally flips based on an invisible context.
and we figure that out based on why we're even talking about Bill's car. And that need for cooperation brings us to the rules of the road. It brings us to H.P. Grice.
The grandfather of modern pragmatics.
He is. Back in '75, Grice proposed this idea, the cooperative principle.
The idea that we're all basically trying to help each other out.
Right. Even if we're in a heated argument, we're still cooperating on the level of making our points understood. We're playing the same game.
And he broke this principle down into 4 maxims. These are like the unwritten rules for adding ingredients to the salad.
Let's run through them, because the interesting part is when they conflict. So first, there's quality.
Tell the truth. Don't say stuff you know is false or that you have no evidence for.
The absolute foundation. Without it, everything else collapses. Second is quantity.
Say as much as is required, but no more.
Don't give a dissertation when someone asks for the time. Third, relation.
Be relevant, stick to the topic.
And finally, manner.
Be clear, be brief, be orderly. Avoid being obscure or ambiguous.
Now, here's the problem. It is almost impossible to follow all of these at the same time.
And that tension is where all the interesting stuff happens.
That's where meaning is generated.
Yeah.
Think about manner versus quantity. Manner says be polite. Quantity says be brief.
Right. If I just wanted to be brief, I'd say pass salt.
But to be polite, you say, would you mind terribly if I possibly asked you to pass the salt?
You violate quantity to satisfy manner.
And the real magic is when we violate these rules on purpose. That's what Grice called conversational implicature.
Right. Implying something, meaning more than you actually say.
Let's use the classic Barbara example from the text.
Okay. Person A asks, which city does Barbara live in? And person B replies, she lives in Russia.
Now let's analyze that. Person A asked for a city. Person B gave a country.
So they followed quality. It's true information, but they violated quantity. They didn't give enough information.
So person A has to ask themselves, okay, this person is cooperative. Why would they give me less information than I asked for?
The only logical reason is that they don't have it. If they knew the city, they would set it.
Boom. That's the implicature. I don't know which city. Person B never said those words, but person A heard them loud and clear.
The meaning came from the absence of information.
Exactly. And we see this with scalar implicature too. Words that exist on a scale, like all, most, some.
So if I say some of the students did well on the test.
I immediately hear not all of the students did well.
Why? Because if all of them had done well, I would have used the stronger word. I would have said all.
The fact that you retreated down the scale to a weaker word implies the stronger one isn't true. We also do this with the way we phrase things. This is the idea of markedness.
Marked messages for marked situations.
Basically, a weird phrasing implies a weird event.
The example being, Ali stopped the car versus Ali caused the car to stop.
Ali stopped the car is normal, unmarked. You picture her hitting the brake pedal.
But Ali caused the car to stop is clunky. It's wordy. It violates the maxim of manner. Be brief.
So your brain goes, why the weird phrasing? It must be because the normal action didn't happen. Maybe she threw a brick under the tire. Maybe she drove it into a hedge.
The weird form signals a weird meaning.
Exactly. So we have all these layers. But Potts goes even deeper. He says a single sentence can transmit two completely different kinds of meaning at the same time.
The difference between the main point and, like, a side comment.
The at-issue content and the side-issue content.
He has the damn test for this.
The damn test is great. Take the sentence. Sam passed the damn test.
Okay, so track one, the main meaning, the at-issue part, is Sam passed the test.
That's the new ingredient for the salad. But track two is that word, damn.
Which conveys the speaker's emotion, their agitation.
Right. And Potts gives us a tool for telling these tracks apart. It's called the wait a minute test.
How does that work?
Well, you can directly deny the main point. To Sam passed the damn test, you can just say, no, he didn't.
Right. I'm challenging the fact that he passed. Simple.
But now try to deny the word damn with no.
Sam passed the damn test. No.
Yeah, that's weird. That still just sounds like I'm denying he passed. It doesn't target the emotion at all.
It doesn't. That secondary meaning is slippery. You can't just hit it with a no. To challenge it, you have to halt the whole conversation. You have to say, wait a minute, why are you so angry about it?
You have to pull the emergency brake on the conversation.
You do. And speakers use this to smuggle information into the common ground. Think about presuppositions.
Like, Sam didn't break his skateboard.
The main point, the at-issue part, is about him not breaking it. But the sentence presupposes it smuggles in the side-issue fact that Sam has a skateboard.
And if I just say, okay, I've silently agreed that he owns one. To challenge it, I can't just say no. I have to use the tool. Wait a minute, I didn't even know Sam had a skateboard.
It's a total power move. Politicians do it constantly. They embed an assumption in a question so that any answer you give accepts their premise.
So we've got context, rules, smuggled meanings. But there's one final layer that I think is the most mind-bending of all, speech acts. This is where we completely detach meaning from grammar.
Yeah, in school they teach you. Imperative is a command. Declarative is a statement.
But in the real world, the force of a sentence, what it actually does, is all about social context, not the grammar.
Okay, take the sentence, have a seat.
Grammatically, that's an imperative. It's a command, like do your homework.
But if you invite me into your office and say, have a seat, you're not ordering me.
No, it's an invitation, an offer.
Now take drop dead.
Also an imperative, a command. But am I really ordering you to die? Do I expect you to comply?
I certainly hope not.
Since you have no control over it, it can't be an order. The conditions for it being an order aren't met. So pragmatically, it's interpreted as an ill wish, a curse.
And my favorite is the indirect speech act, the mobster example.
Ah, yes. Take care not to let your dog out at night.
If my friendly neighbor says that, it's a helpful suggestion.
Right. Maybe there are coyotes around.
But if a mobster says it to a witness in a trial...
It's a threat.
But why? The words are polite. The grammar is just advice.
It's the context of power. The mobster has the means and the motive to harm the dog. We calculate the real force of the sentence based on those social dynamics.
That's something an AI would really struggle with. It sees take care of the dog and thinks you're giving pet advice.
It misses the baseball bat in the mobster's hand. It misses the salad entirely.
So if we zoom all the way out, we've gone from the sketch of words to the salad of context to this whole game of the Grecian maxims.
And for a long time, linguistics kind of treated all this messy stuff as, well, as garbage.
Mm.
Barhill famously called pragmatics the wastebasket.
The wastebasket.
Yeah. Linguists wanted language to be clean and logical, like math. So anything that depended on context or tone or who was talking, anything messy, they just threw it into the pragmatics wastebasket to deal with later.
But Potts' whole argument is that the wastebasket is actually where the treasure is buried.
It's not the trash. It's the engine of communication. The messiness is the feature, not a bug. The fact that we can say Russia and mean, I don't know, or say, nice dog you have there, and mean, I'm going to hurt it. That's what makes human language so incredibly efficient and flexible.
It's a signaling game.
It absolutely is. We are constantly solving this incredibly complex coordination problem, trying to balance truth and brevity and social goals, all while assuming the other person can more or less read our mind.
And just hoping that our two salads are roughly the same.
When you think about all the assumptions and variables and calculations we're juggling in real time, it is honestly a miracle we ever understand each other at all.
And that feels like a good place to leave it. So next time you're in a conversation, just remember, you're only handing them a sketch. Don't be too surprised if they color it in wrong.
Indeed.
Thanks for deep diving with us. We'll see you on the next one.